Hi, my name is Bob Carroll. I'm the Executive Vice President at Permanent Solutions Labor Consultants, and this is Union Free Words of Wisdom. I want to share a story that happened over the weekend. I attended a rock concert with a buddy, and we decided it would be better off if we took a Lyft home instead of risking driving. Do not drink and drive. Just to be clear, I had a couple of drinks, but for my rule, 2 drinks or more, you gotta call a Lyft. Do not get caught drinking or driving. It's not worth it. Former firefighter, former paramedic here. I've seen too much. It's not worth it. But let me tell you the story. So this weekend, we're waiting for our Lyft to show up. And my buddy asked me what I do for a living. And he knows that I work in labor. He knows that I work with HR departments. He knows that I help with management training, but he didn't know exactly what I did. And it kind of took me for a loop. So I said, why do you ask? He said, well, the union sent me a union card to my house and I signed it and turned it in. And I said, what? Why? And he said, every time they send us a union card, we fill them out and then we get a raise. So to us, it's a way of getting a raise. And I'm like, wow. Are they talking to you? He goes, yeah, they held some meetings, but they're a joke. I said, what do you mean they're a joke? He goes, they brought in some, I won't say exactly, I don't want to tip the hand on who this organization is, but they brought some stuff in and it said it represented what our annual dues would be. And that's such an old trick, it doesn't work anymore. And for all my consulting friends that are out there, you got to watch that, because I was talking to Ricardo Torres before I started this podcast, and he told me, he goes, man, when companies did that back in the day when he was still on the union side, and he heard that happen, he said, we already had a plan for that. Whatever they brought, they would bring 10 times more in and tell the employees, well, that's what the company told you. This is what you're going to get if you have a union. So it's an antiquated trick. The unions know how to get around it. You got to know more modern techniques, and you can't replace gimmicks with communication. And it ties into what I was talking about last week. You got to get out there and you got to communicate. Nothing's gonna help you more than communicate with your employees. And remember, you got your tips and your faux. Let's talk about faux. You got your facts, you got your opinions, you got your experiences. Stick to the facts, never lie. If you lie, you die. Never lie, but there's enough facts out there about unions that you can talk with authority to your employees, have consultants come in and talk to your employees, and the union cannot debunk facts. Number 2, your opinion. You can share your opinions all day long as you're not accidentally threatening the employees. If you say, in my opinion, we're going to shut this place down, you just broke the law. But if you can say, in my opinion, I don't think it's a real good fit here and this is why, do it. If you have experience with the union, share it with your employees. They need to know the truth about what happens when you're in a union. And what was really interesting about this story is the Lyft driver overheard our conversation, and he himself signed a union card at one of the biggest tier 1 automotive suppliers years ago in Detroit. And they voted the union in, and he got really emotional about the conversation when my buddy was making some comments. And he said, hey, I did that. Don't do it. This is what happened to me. The guy ended up with a pay cut after negotiations were over. And now he's a frontline supervisor. And he said, now I'm a supervisor. And let me tell you, back when I was a line employee, our supervisors were great. They worked with us. And when he became a supervisor, he realized it's hard to be as good as they used to be, because he can no longer deal with the employees on a one-on-one basis and that flexibility. And he brought it up. I didn't bring it up. It was amazing. Again, I would hire the guy in a second. He was that good. He talked about how the flexibility was all gone, and everything that they used to do, they couldn't do anymore. And even at this plant that, I can't say who it is, but even at this plant, they are having a hard time keeping good talent in there, because the union's protecting people that aren't good employees, because some of the supervisors aren't consistent with their following of the policies, the procedures, the employee handbook, the contract, and it has them in a bad place. So having a total stranger in a car giving a union I hate the word anti-union, but an education on unions to my buddy was a unique experience that I've never been through, but it was an amazing experience as well. So again, it goes to this pre-petition, talk to your employees. You gotta talk. If you can remember one thing, I'm gonna say it one more time, you got to talk to your employees. Don't use the gimmicks. The unions are way more sophisticated than you can imagine. They know your gimmicks. They know what you've done in the past in previous campaigns and previous card signing attempts. They keep records of that. You gotta come up with something more creative. That's why we win so much. We are creative with what we do. Sure, there's some things that we do that we have to do on every campaign, but every single company we deal with has a different culture, so we have to be creative and adapt to that culture to communicate, to get the supervisors to communicate, to build a culture that has union-free DNA built into it. So that's it for this week's Union-Free Words of Wisdom. Always, if you like what you see, please subscribe to the channel. Hit the like on the video. Leave comments below. If you're seeing this on other social media platforms, please hit like. Leave comments. I love to hear from you guys. I'll see you next week on Union-Free Words of Wisdom.